wonderful people. This is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally. Listen, I am in the process of working on one of the projects for my high school / college students. You guys are at an age now where I know you don't want to face it, adulthood is right around the corner, especially if you're graduating this year. And I don't want you to go out in the world thinking, oh my goodness, I can't figure all this stuff out. Instead of dealing with things from a I didn't know standpoint, I definitely want you to have what you need to truly transform from a clueless high school student to a consummate professional. So one of the ways that we're going to start with that, and of course, I'm going to be working on some other projects to continue on with this, but I want to make sure that you guys are amply prepared. Do not be like me that had to figure it out and get baptized by fire with a lot of this stuff. I had, I want to do this, and then you go down a career path only to find that it's not what you really wanted to do and it doesn't pay you enough. So, with that being said, there are some questions that I put on here that's actually a part of the program. It's going to be a full-blown course and program that I do live as well as doing workshops. But I just want to give you an introduction to that now so you get an idea of what we're really talking about here. Here's question number 1. This is part of the first portion of the course. So the question here is, before we go any further, grab a pen, grab a paper, write this down. There may be some gifts at the end that you may need be able to use with it, but right now I need you to grab a pen and paper because there's no point in you watching this and not taking action. That's first to consider. So, let's start with question number 1. What is your career and economic plan for the next 2 to 5 years? You're in high school now. And you're 16, 17 years old. Do you really know what you want to do? And if you say something like, I want to start a YouTube channel, you don't have to be 18 to do that. You can start that right now. I'm just putting that out there. So if that's what you want to do with your life, okay, great. 2 to 5 years. But if you say something simple as, I want to be an engineer, what kind of engineer do you want to be? Automotive engineer. I'm going to use that as an example because I had a good conversation with my nephew earlier, and that's what he said he wanted to do. So, of course, my next question is, to him and to all of you, how will you make this economic and career plan come to life? Now, there's a question. I can't answer that for you. I can help you to get to that point. How are you going to make this come to life? What do you need to do? What's involved here? Nobody can cultivate a career for you quite like you. And of course, you always hear my motto, mentoring you to become a better version of yourself. Because, guess what? You see how life works? Once you hit that wonderful 18 years old, if you don't make a career plan within 2 to 5 years, you see the same place you were when you graduated from high school will be the same place you are in 5 years. So it's that serious. Still living with mom, still depending on mom and dad for what you eat and the roof over your head. So please, write that down. Figure that out. Even if it means you're saying, okay, I'm going to sell something at the swap shop. It's something. I'm going to sell something at the swap meet. It's better than not having no plan. Because I know this is going to be a little old school. If you fail to plan, then you plan on failing. And I'm sure your parents did not go through all of that for you to fail. All right. So I need you to write the answer down for this question. How will you make your economic and career plan come to life? Okay? It's question number 2. Write that down. Now, question number 3. What will you need in terms of education, skills, and money to make your career and economic goals possible? I'm going to use the example that my nephew gave me about becoming an automotive engineer. Okay? On average, because I said, well, if that's what you want to do, look it up. How much do they make? See, the Google machine works the best way. If you use it, it'll work for you. And every one of you in here, if you're watching me on YouTube, if you're watching me somewhere else, If you're watching this video on some form of device, you got Google available to you too. So anything that you really want to do, there's no excuse. I don't know what it is. Look it up on the Google machine, because it's available to you as well. Now, let's just say we're going to use an average salary for an automotive engineer, which my nephew told me was $84,000 on average, right? Which $84,000 is actually not a bad salary. It's a great place to start. However, let's go back here. $84,000 per year, right? All right, let's put that there for now. We're going to get back to that in a second. Okay, in order for you to be an automotive engineer, we're going to use that as the example, right? What will you need in terms of education? How much education is going to be required for that? Will you need to go to school to get an engineering degree? Will you need a master's degree? Will you need certifications? What will you truly need, okay, in terms of education? Skills. What kind of skills? Are you going to need computer skills? Are you going to need mechanical skills? Are you going to need a combination of the two to become an automotive engineer? Okay, I need you to look into that. Work on it, use the Google machine, because it works for you too. Now, how much money will you need to make this happen? Now, if an automotive engineer requires a college degree of some kind, right? If that's what it requires, depending on where you're attending school at this point, if it's an AA program that's required, I can't tell you. You got to look that up for yourself, or we can work on doing a career strategy session together, which I'll be able to. As a matter of fact, in order for you to do that, if you want to sit down and go through what your career plan is, I definitely can help you with that. You can go to mentorshelley.com/services/career strategy. I go through all of this with you. This is part of what's involved when you work with me one-on-one. Now let's get back to this. As an automotive engineer, right? Let's just put it up here. Automotive engineer. We're using this as an example, so you really see, listen, this is not nothing to play with. You gotta, if you're gonna do it, let's get it done. What's the money that's gonna be required to get that done? College degree, whether it be a Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, Bachelor's, Master's. Whatever's required for that, that's where the student loans or mom and dad helping you out to get that education, to get that career, okay? Depending on how much that costs or what's involved, you have to find out what's involved, so that actually helps you to get a better idea monetarily of what it is going to be involved in getting to this automotive engineer, okay? So I need you guys to do your research. You say you want to do something, find out exactly what you get involved with before you jump in feet first and they can't get out when you're $200,000 in debt. Because there's people right now that jumped into careers, didn't do their homework, and is paying off $200,000 worth of student loans as we speak. Trust me, I'm paying student loans right now. I wouldn't even want to pay the little amount that I have, and it's not that little, but it's enough for me to cry every month. So let's just say, all right, you got the money you need to be able to make this happen. You find out the educational requirements to become an automotive engineer. You get the skills, whether it be mechanical or otherwise, to be able to figure out how to become an engineer. So that's part of your career and economic goal. So let's just say, to make it possible, these are just some of the questions that we'll address in the workshop, but I want to give you a great start. So let's say on average, this is the average salary, right? You could go higher, you could go lower. But this is the average salary for an automotive engineer, okay? This is $84,000 a year. Gross is $84,000. Divide that by 12, that gives you $7,000 a month. That's your monthly gross salary. Boys and girls, if your parents never told you before, when you are working for somebody, even when you're working for yourself or you have a business, these three things are going to be a part of your life. Social Security tax, FICA, which is also federal, and federal taxes. If you're an employee, you don't even get to see your money before they take out. So I'm using a modest average here of 30%. 30%, right? Let's do the math. I don't want to mess this up. 30% of 7,000, right? Okay, 7,000 times 30%. That's $2,100 of your money gone. Off top, off rip. Listen, we want to deal in the real. We don't want to deal in the fantasy. Okay, so that's $4,900 right there off the top. That's your monthly salary. Okay, and I'm sure if you're working for a regular organization that actually offers benefits, like medical, dental, for some people it will be eye or life insurance or whatever it is you choose, or short-term disability, whatever benefits they have, you want to take advantage of. I'm being modest with the 15%. However, it'll probably be more. But for this example, we are going to use 15%. So 15% of $7,000 is what? Boys and girls? Let's find out. Times 0.15. It's going to be 1,500. Okay? So, right? 1,050, my bad. 1,050, my bad. So here it's 5, 8, 3. So, I have 7,000 just from benefits, which is here, and taxes. Almost half your money is gone. But if this is your net, this is your net pay after all that stuff gets taken out. We're gonna go on to the part we may end up doing a video on it. If not, this is just to get you wet, get your feet wet as far as what's involved in the program. This is your net pay. Now, you want to set up your economic life. You know what you're working with on a monthly basis. Now, can you live within the confines of this and still be able to make a good life out of this? Most people can. The average salary in the US of A right now, believe it or not, it ain't 84,000. It's 30,000. So, automotive engineer is not a bad career to start off with. But on average, people are making less than half of that. So, do you see why it's important to plan? Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. These and other things are going to be involved in the from high school to consummate professional program. This is just to give you an idea of where we start. When I'm talking about these kind of questions, this isn't rocket science. But if you don't make a plan for what you really want, you have no idea what you're going to be going up against down the line. When you have this kind of net pay, can this net pay for the roof over your head? Can it pay the rent or the mortgage? Can it pay your light bill? Can you save some money out of this to do some things later? Can you invest out of this money? We didn't even talk about 401k and all this other stuff. Or investment accounts and things of that nature. But I just want to give you an idea of what you'll be looking at. If you're truly planning your career, you're truly planning on your economic life, let's look at it from a realistic standpoint, not the fantasy. Okay? So this is Mentor Shelley, of course. If you want to definitely go through this and other pieces of your career strategy plan, you can definitely check me out at mentorshelley.com/services/career strategy. Wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself. Because when I work with you, I want to make sure that you're dealing in the real and not the fantasy. Take care, guys. And of course, if you have questions in regards to when this program is going to start, it may be in another month or so. If you have questions as far as when this is going to start or if it's going to be done live or recorded and things of that nature, it would definitely reach out to me at mentorshelley.com/contact, where you can leave me a voice message by clicking on the gray tab on the right side of the screen, or leave me an email message and I'll be more than happy to return your call return your voicemail as well as your email within 24 hours. Take care. This is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally as you work to cultivate your dream career. Take care, guys. You have a good one.